Hello, everyone. I'm Nebojša Ratković. I'm Education Program Manager at Wikimedia Serbia. Today, I'll talk to you about Wikipedia Education Program in Serbia. First, I will start with local context. I would like to highlight that Wikipedia education program in Serbia is designed for all educational and scientific institutions in the country, such as schools, faculties, institutes, and its aim is to spread free and accessible knowledge, as well as to raise awareness of its importance. The basic vision of the program is to popularize Wikipedia and its sister projects and to enrich them with the new content in an academic environment. The Wikipedia education program consists of different projects that are adapted to different target groups, such as teachers, high school, and university students. Projects are implemented through many different workshops, trainings, seminars, editathons, etc. The program was started for the first time in 2005 at the Faculty of Mathematics, University of Belgrade. So last year, we celebrated 15 years of its successful implementation. In 2006, Wikimedia Serbia was contacted by a professor from the Faculty of Physical Chemistry, and after 2 workshops with the students, first articles finally started appearing on Wikipedia. Additionally, professional connections of Mr. Stakic made it possible to start the project at the Faculty of Philology as well. At the first, the partnerships included only universities, but in 2011, the first cooperation with the high school was started. One of the major milestones in the development of the education program happened in 2012 when the academic board of Wikimedia Serbia was formed. That was tasked with the development of the program. The body was quite active in setting up new cooperations, conducting workshops, and evaluation produced articles. Additionally, the Serbian Wikipedia community created a policy revolving around contributions by students, giving them special significance. Today, we implement a program driven by necessity of changing the education system in technological means. We motivate the educational institutions to adopt educational methods to the demands of the modern society using innovative tools. The results of these efforts are that we are present in more than 50 institutions across the country, and that our workshops are attended by more than 1,000 participants annually. When we talk about international contexts, efforts by volunteers and Wikipedians in Serbia in the education sector began several months prior when Wikipedia co-founder Jimbo Wales visited Belgrade, where he held a lecture at the Faculty of Philosophy, University of Belgrade. That visit encouraged the line of thinking that the implied potential in cooperating with educational and academic institutions. In 2014, Wikimedia Serbia organized an international EduWiki conference, a meeting with a focus on education with the Wikimedia world. After that, we were present at a large number of Wiki conferences where we had the opportunity to present our educational program. A big step forward has been made when we got the accreditation for our teachers' professional development program. After the authors of the book of informatics for the 2nd grade of high school included Wikipedia as a special lesson, we applied at the Institute for the Empowerment of Education, founded by the Ministry of Education. Our application included a course on Wikipedia, and the Institute included a course in its catalog of accredited programs for continuous professional development of teachers, professors, and other school personnel. This accreditation lasted for 2 years, and the course started in December 2014. The main goals of the course are to improve the competencies of employees in education for the application of new and open learning platforms based on wiki tools, and to improve the quality of the teaching and educational process. The seminar lasts 8 hours, carries 8 points, and is free of charge for all participants. It is designed to consist of theoretical and practical parts, and it is created for teachers of general education and vocational subjects in high schools and secondary vocational schools, as well as for teachers of upper grades of primary school. During the theoretical part, participants have the opportunity to learn more about the basic principles of Wiki projects, Wikipedia and education processes, examples of good practice, presentation of Wiki tools, creating a Wiki article, and application in teaching. Also, Wiki ambassadors were introduced as a means to ensure sustainability of the program. Wiki ambassadors are student representatives of Wikimedia Serbia at the faculties they study. They are an important factor in the realization of our project because they represent our support and assistance in cooperation with students. They collaborate, manage workshops, and check the articles written by students. We are constantly striving to increase the number of Wiki ambassadors to maintain the dynamics of their work and to occasionally reward them with for their performance. Another milestone was the creation of the education program manager position in early 2015. That paid position was created as a way to facilitate the workload from volunteers and make all efforts in this program more professional. Even though today I deal with establishing and maintaining partnerships, I still have the support from volunteers for running workshops, communicating with students, and evaluating work. We started organizing the EduWiki camp thanks to regional connections when we saw at one of the conferences that Georgia has this type of activity. A few years ago, we localized the project to our conditions and we have several successful realizations. That's why we get a new Wiki ambassadors, and the project means a lot to our organization. This is one example of how you can learn from others. From example, what Wikimedia Serbia is doing now and can be useful to others is that we started organizing EduWiki Camp online because of COVID. And for example, we have cooperation with a school within which we do tutorials for editing Wikipedia. Another thing I would like to mention is our cooperation that we achieved at the last CE meeting in Belgrade with the representatives of GLA Macedonia. We had the idea to realize a joint camp for high school participants in North Macedonia. We chose the location, the participants, we organized everything, but because of the pandemic, we had to postpone everything. The education program in Serbia in the past several years has seen stability in the operations. Strategically, it has always been among the highest priorities within Wikimedia Serbia, which is demonstrated by the fact that the first staff member for specific programs was the education program manager. The number of institutions that Wikimedia Serbia partnered with over the years, as well as the number of participants, is growing. As we are increasingly present in educational institutions, we realize that it is very important to have academic argumentation for our activities. Therefore, one of our priorities in the future is to publish as many papers as possible in scientific journals to be present at local and international conferences. We believe that in the discussion that await us in the future, only in this way we can actually achieve a scientific foundation for all our activities and projects. Nothing less important are the researches that we have realized and plan to realize in the future. One of them is the quality of seminar papers published on Wikipedia by students. I would especially like to emphasize the importance of that appearance Wikipedia from year to year and certain faculties and high schools. It was interesting for me, for example, that in December last year, I had the opportunity to hold a workshop for fourth grade students at the 9th gymnasium in Belgrade, during which I showed them editable Wikipedias using Wiki syntax. I saw the same group of students in their first year, 4 years ago, when I showed them editing in a visual editor. We certainly had a lot of challenges along the way. Among them are the general attitude of the public about Wikipedia, its use in teaching, and the motivation of professors to change that. Technical aspects are something that actually is really challenging for us. Although most schools today have the internet, sometimes we are not sure if this will really be the case when we come to school. The legacy of the system in which we were born and raised in working with people is a difficulty for me, because we are sometimes afraid to ask certain things, and generally, no matter how much material instructions we prepare, sometimes it's not enough. COVID, like for the whole world, as one of the biggest challenges for us. In the first months of work in uncertain circumstances, there was a significant drop in interest for our activities, which you can see on the chart. Nevertheless, we were able to respond to the needs of educational institutions, and we managed to regain interests. Not only did we continue to work with old partners, but we also got new ones by presenting Wikipedia as a unique tool and a great opportunity for teaching during online school period. COVID left consequences on our projects and activities, in the sense that we did not have the opportunity to meet and get new Wiki ambassadors, which is why one of the priorities at the moment is to increase the number of volunteers in the educational program. Our next steps are decentralization of the activities. Our goal in the time ahead is to expand the idea as much as possible to institutions with which we have not cooperated so far. That includes schools, faculties, and other organizations. In addition, Serbia is a very centralized country. A lot of activities are being realized in its capital, Belgrade, so it was like that at the beginning of the work of Wikimedia Serbia as well. Our financial and human capacities were limited. The change occurred when the first person was employed in the position of education program manager. The activities then spread to other parts of the country, which gave us more potential to involve more different people in our projects. Working with teachers on the Wikipedia in Schools project, we strive to provide them with support and assistance during the first few years of their involvement in the project. In parallel, we are working on their independence. We want that after a certain time, the independently implemented project that will become an integral part of the curriculum. Introduction to the curriculum is a goal itself. As I have already mentioned, thanks to our partners and authors of textbooks, informatics, Wikipedia was presented as a special lessons for the subject of informatics in the secondary grade of high school. There are some needs to be more of this, and we will certainly be working on that in the future. This includes designing new projects. For example, this year we will be working on Wikibooks for the first time with one elementary school. We also insist on introduction of Wikidata in workshops. In the end, we believe that there is a great value in cooperation with other countries. We have had several initiatives for cross-border cooperation. COVID has stopped us in that, but we believe that there is a great potential for many ideas to be realized in cooperation with young people from other countries. Thanks to online activities, we were able to connect with others through EVOC, Edu Affiliates Meeting, and mentorship programs. Thank you. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. Thank you very much for your attention.